Yep, that is happening right now all around the world, and you have no idea. That was the whole point of the TikTok takeover. TikTok was the only app left that allowed us to have a conversation without government, without the powers that be. To be fair, today, a Nigerian artist, this guy named Kelly Handsome, he slid in my DM to let me know that there's a new app that's an African app. It's owned by Africans, funded by Africans, and it doesn't, there's no oversight from white people. My only issue with the app is the name of it. It gives the same Instagram / but anyways, I'm gonna check it out. I will check it out regardless of the name. I'm gonna check it out and see how it is, and if it's definitely what it says, I'll give the word. But yeah, right now the whole world is, and all of these protests are for different reasons. Some are for immigration, some because the governments are poor. Like, everyone is protesting for different reasons, but Europe is in an uproar right now, but no one knows that shit because he who controls the media, right?
Look at this. Let's put this on screen from Amazon. Put the full screen up, please. The shooting of Charlie Kirk. Yeah, blow that up. Why does Amazon have the shooting of Charlie Kirk by Anastasia J. Casey posted one day before he was murdered, and then they updated it, and it's on the Internet Archive. That's been checked. It happened a day, September 9th. So it was already out there, and then they updated it today. Publication date, September 9th. The FBI needs to be knocking down some doors over there.
This is a complete update of everything strange linking Charlie Kirk's unaliving to Steve Jackson's Illuminati card game. This video is going to be wild, and I will go through everything very fast. So strap in and stick around because the ending is the craziest part. All right, so first off, we got this video posted on Charlie Kirk's YouTube account. It is a YouTube short with Donald Trump posted hours before he got unalived with the caption, "Enough is enough." Now, if you look up Illuminati card number 345 on YouTube, you will find this card. Posted 12 years ago, but the card is made in 1995, I believe. Taking a closer look, you can see that caption, "Enough is enough," on the title of the card, followed by "At any time, at any place, our snipers can drop you," with a very familiar face on the card. This Time magazine article was also posted with this cover, "Enough," the day after Kirk got... We ain't even scratched the surface. I'm sure everybody's seen a picture of this gentleman by now who appears to be celebrating moments after Kirk got unalived. Going back to another card from that same card game. Keep in mind, this was also made in 1995, 30 years ago. See a couple very familiar faces in this card. Most notable one. Come on. A lot of resemblance. Now here's the scariest part. Here we have a picture of Charlie Kirk's 47 hats, the same rally he got assassinated. 3 stacks of hats. 4 plus 7 is what? 11. Times 3, 33. Hang on. It took 33 hours to find Kirk's shooter. This is Charlie Kirk's birthday. There were 33 full days remaining until his day of birth. Hang on. This is the craziest part. Trump was inaugurated for his second term, January 20th. Kirk was assassinated, September 10th. 33 weeks and 3 days after Trump took office. Whoever's behind all this is them right now. I don't even think I'm crazy anymore. I think I've just lost it completely. The crazy thing is, this is just the conspiracy surrounding the incident. It doesn't even cover everything else strange that happened that day. It's just insane. September 10th is insane. It was an insane day.
Guys, the 1995 Illuminati card game has done it again. It has accurately predicted the Charlie Kirk assassination. You need to watch this to the end, trust me. Now, if you guys haven't seen this card game before, it was made in 1995, and conspiracy theorists suggest that some of these cards are the plan for the New World Order. Again, made in 1995. That look familiar? How about this one? How about this one? That one? Federal Reserve, Center for Disease Control, gun control. You get my point. Somehow, this card game in 1995 shockingly predicts a lot of the things that have happened in the future. Now, this is the card that really blew my mind, and stick with me here, guys. The card is titled, "Enough is Enough." At any time, at any place, our snipers can drop you. Have a nice day. Kind of looks like a picture of Trump. And you might be saying, well, what does this have to do with the Charlie Kirk situation? Well, this is the last short that is on Charlie Kirk's YouTube. Look at the thumbnail. Look at the card. Well, I didn't think too much about it until I saw the title of this short. Enough is enough. Yeah, okay. I just like to say here, guys, that I love my life. I love my life so much. I would never take my life. And just to let you know, if you guys have been watching what I've been presenting this whole entire time and you still believe the narrative, the mainstream, then you're an idiot. The playbook is too obvious. They want you to know. They want you to know it's them. Nothing surprises me anymore, but let me know what you think in the comments down below. Peace and love.
Well, the translators are gone, and the live stream is waning, which means that if we just listen to my colleague Matthias, the best thing in the world would be to leave it to you, the people. Now it's up to you to share what clearly, based on the cavernous emptiness we see in all of these spaces, is only going to be heard if you share it. So it feels very appropriate that I should be the one with the quietest voice. But let's let that lion roar, shall we? I'm done talking about COVID, and I'm done talking about SARS-CoV-2, and I'm done for a very simple reason. For 110 years, we, the people of the world, have been lied to. We're a group of very small number of criminal, industrial conspirators decided to subordinate the entirety of the human population for the purpose of their sinister plans to enrich themselves while impoverishing and killing the rest of humanity. And I'm done being polite. We've long passed polite. When the words acceptable death rate become part of an industrial norm, we have lost the plot of humanity. And that's not my words. Those were the words of the World Health Organization and of Pfizer and of Moderna when they were given the authorization to begin the process of killing human beings in the interest of advancing their goals. Next slide. And I'm also not going to sugarcoat this. This is a criminal cartel. We are acting as though there's some sort of redeemable quality somewhere in some esoteric layer that somehow or another the World Health Organization must have some salutatory benefit. Well, I'm going to tell you, since its formation in the 1940s, the World Health Organization has been nothing more than a criminal cartel that has a sole and singular intent. And I will show you the document that proves what I'm saying. This is not an allegation. This is actually provable by their own words in their own hand. And they use a four-step process to execute every one of their nefarious plans. They begin by planning an exercise, then they go to the business of funding that exercise, then they create the rationale for the thing that they're going to do, and then they deploy and profit from it. And in violation of 15
big school picture, only the students are our government and the teacher is BB the bomber. Yeah, you probably didn't hear nothing about it. That's crazy, right? Well, it's not that crazy because I took a look. Not one major news network decided to let us know that 250 legislators went to another country while we're on the brink of civil war. They was like, oh, you know what? We need you to go visit Adolf 2.0. Have a fun trip. Like, what? Not for real. Just think about in World War II, if all of a sudden Germany was like, hey, we need 250 of y'all. And then our government was like, okay, yeah, for sure. Here we go. Who's giving the talk? Oh, we got Adolf. He just wants to explain some things, maybe get some funding. Need your support. And then we just sent him. No nothing, no questions. Of course. You're our greatest ally. Who cares about the thousands and hundreds of thousands of people you're killing and the children? Guess what do you need? How much we need each state to plant flags so we know they stand in October 7th, even though most likely we gave a stand down order and then we carried out Hannibal's directive to kill our own people so they couldn't get taken as hostages. And now we absolutely do not care about the hostages because we keep on destroying negotiation tactics. But hey, we need your support. This is 50 states, one Israel. I mean, what the fuck is that? Look at this logo. It literally looks like America is just like, hey, our shining light Israel, we thank you for existing. This guy is fucking insane. He's a war maniac. Genocidal. Get him the fuck out. I can't believe that this shit is just flying like there's no problem. I see a lot of problems. Urging legislators to pass anti-BDS laws in their states, which means boycott, sanction, dismiss. AKA, if you talk shit about Israel, no more funding. If you talk shit about Israel, we could arrest you. And it's just like, well, what happened to free speech? Like Jimmy Kimmel's show just got pulled. Why? Because of his Charlie Kirk comments. And when I watched the clip, I was like, wait, that's not even that bad. Whereas like, you can get fired for that? And go ahead, you can say, oh, his show wasn't profitable. I don't give a fuck. The reason that he got pulled was because of his comments. And it's just like, I don't give a fuck what somebody say. It's free speech, right? I thought you was allowed to say whatever you want to say. We could cancel him. We could be like, oh, let's boycott his show and not watch it, and then the ratings fall. But like, pull your show of 22 years because of comments? Oh yeah, we are headed in a dark direction. And all this is happening. Clown Patel went under oath today and said, oh yeah, Epstein, he didn't traffic to anybody. But then in the same statement said, well, Biden and none of them looked into his pedophile network. So was it a network or was he by himself? This guy's a absolute fucking clown. And Trump, I know you don't listen to me, but fire this nigga, son. Like, I already think you're doing a shitty job. But this fucking dweeb right here, oh my days. He moving mental. He is a fucking dummy. Short bus material. UK didn't seem to forget who he was involved with. I mean, somebody booked the hotel from across the way just to shoot this picture and image onto the projector the opposite way. Well-executed hate. Have a scholarship in the mail for you as we speak. United States of Israel at this point in time. Is this motherfucker the leader?
Islam, Shalom, Hola, Aloha, Bonjour, Osio, Assalamu Alaikum. This your brother, Zach Bay, Indigenous American Moor, coming to you live in full effect. Like, share, subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell down below so you can be notified whenever I'm dropping some new content. Leave a comment, interact with me. Thank you. I really do appreciate your viewership. Let's jump into another one. Hopefully you will appreciate it and like those clips at the beginning. Hey, it's been a lot going on. Strange events, current events. Like, if you're not paying attention, if you're too busy, hey, maybe I can give you a recap of some of the things I've been paying attention to, and I can get you informed, and you can look into it some more yourself. But France and a whole lot of other nations are in upheavals. It's not shown on our national news here. It's not flooding the airways. It's not flooding the radios, the TV stations, or anything like that. It's like you pretty much have to go on social media to really find out about all these other nations in upheaval, especially France. And I watched a video, and the Italians, like the Italian prime minister and like and the people of her cabinet were like laughing and stuff like that. That France is having such a hard time after Africa decided to pull out its resources from back in these European nations. Now, that is simply just a footnote of what could potentially happen if all African nations start pulling back and holding out their resources for their own, national use, right? And you'll really see that these European nations will definitely starve, and they're having a hard time of it. All right. Along with that, along with the conflict over in so-called Middle East, there's been videos popping up and pictures popping up of Israeli Defense Force soldiers with a military patch on their side of their arm, and it's showing a new greater Israel, allegedly. And it's showing not just Gaza completely taken over, it's showing parts of Egypt that are taken, it's showing parts of Syria and Libya that are taken, it's showing parts of Saudi Arabia that are taken, and I believe it's showing a little bit of like Turkey as well. So that's pretty much what's etched out, what they could potentially be saying, the land that is promised to them. So the Israeli Defense Forces are wearing a new patch that's showing a larger, greater Israel, allegedly. All right, it's showing a whole bunch of more nations that they could potentially be planning to invade. All right, remember I said this, they could potentially be planning to invade these other nations. They've already been bombing a few other nations, but they have some parts of Egypt, they have a good portion of Saudi Arabia, they have Libya, they have Syria, and up into parts of Turkey. So that's a pretty substantial area, like pretty much all of that in there, they're attempting to claim, allegedly. Along with that, TikTok has been sold. All right, there has been the ban on TikTok and how Trump pushed it back, but pretty much all the fuss was about that the so-called powers that be, the ones who censor us, the so-called overlords, they want control. They wanted control of TikTok, and the owner was a Chinese national, but he did not want to sell TikTok to him. Apparently he caved. Instead of TikTok being pulled out of America altogether, he caved and sold. So now, if anybody wants to know, all social media platforms are ran and controlled by Israel, an Israeli agent. All right, they're going to be controlling and monitoring and installing new algorithms for alleged some kind of hate speech, right? Some kind of fake anti-Semitism. All right. After the assassination of Charlie Kirk, all right, there's been more information on people looking closer into that, trying to figure out exactly who did it. You know, there's a little bit of eyes pointing in certain directions on who is really behind the assassination of Charlie Kirk, who benefited the most from it, especially since that book was released ahead of time, right? And then that strange Illuminati card game that came out back in the 90s seems to be pointing toward a whole lot of hidden and planned agendas by the New World Order. All right, but yeah, check it out, the Illuminati card game. Hopefully that gave you a little bit of information. It's something to look into. Very, very mysterious, very, very strange indeed. Let's see. Okay, there was a type of census done. All right, it wasn't the actual census, but it was a poll that was done on where the geological location and geographical location of so-called African Americans, so-called black people, you know, the Moors of America, the indigenous people in America, and where do they mostly reside in America. So through this collection of data, it pretty much, the map showed that the majority of melanated people, the majority of indigenous people in America live on like the southeast part of America, of the United States, southeastern region. So, you know, Mississippi, Florida, Texas, Mississippi, Florida, even some parts of Texas, Georgia, Louisiana, a whole lot of that territory, all down there is like pooled. So if that's where most of our people live, that happens to be where a lot of the industrial factories are that produce a lot of air pollution, water pollution, right? That the environmental agency should be checking up on, but we know that the funding was pulled back for the environmental agencies, even when Trump was first in office. So there was a lawsuit, a case for chemical runoff, poor air quality, pollutants, downdraft into that community. So all the smoke and the runoff from those factories would all be going into that community. All right, children were coming down with cases of asthma and other bronchial irritations, and all kinds of symptoms, early signs of cancer. There's been a lot of people coming down with early cancer. The life expectancy is down into, I believe, like the red area. People are dying off fast. People aren't living as long as they should. There was a case that should have held those corporations and those factories accountable, and some type of effort made to clean up the pollution that's going toward that community. But unfortunately not. They lost the case, the environmental case, and those people will either have to stay there and deal with it and put their life and their children's lives in danger, pets, all animals, or to potentially move. All right, and of course that land is not going to be worth anywhere near as much. This is like a tale as old as time. It's always done. The redlining, the national highway project, like all of this always seems to always go through our communities. It seems our communities are always the ones that are the most effective, all right, adversely. Even when it comes to eminent domain. When is the last time you heard of eminent domain happening to Amish country? When's the last time the federal government went and did eminent domain, built a pipeline, built a highway, built a road, any kind of infrastructure in Amish country? When's the last time that happened? Have you ever heard about that? I haven't. Let me know in the comments down below. Like, share, subscribe. Along with that, the good brother Jay Electronica dropped a new album. All right, it's been a while, but I've been waiting for it on a little more of a lighter note. It seems like whenever the good brother Jay Electronica drops an album, it seems like something major is going on in the world. All right, I've listened to the album. I like it. It's dope. You know, you can actually consider this my official review. Yeah, I think it's a dope album. You know, there's always gems. There's always a message in there. You know, it can't just be music. You gotta put a little bit of the alchemy in there. You know, you gotta do a little bit of the transmutation. You know what I'm saying? To alter hearts and minds and spirits. So, yeah, check out that album. The good brother Jay Electronica dropped that album. Once again, this is your brother Zach Bay. Let me know how I'm doing down below. I'm going to be dropping videos all this week, Monday through Friday. They're trying to silence me, people. They're trying to silence me, the powers that be. If I do not drop new content on this Friday, they got me. They silenced me. All right? This is really, really important. They want to silence voices like mine. They want to silence people who are seeking the truth, who are seeking to inform the masses. They want to silence voices like mine. They want to cancel channels like mine. They're trying to silence me. If I do not drop new content this Friday, the 26th, they got me, fam. Come after them. Heavy. Hey, once again, this is your brother Zach Bay. Peace.